Hi, this is James Shug with Westpac London's end of day report for Monday, February the 13th. No economic data at all to report today of significance out of the US or Europe. The main story in town was the agreement finally by the Greek Parliament of the austerity measures that are considered necessary to get the budget deficit down to the targets that are required to be met for the bailout that's waiting in the wings to be sufficient. Now, there are still some question marks about that. The European finance ministers are meeting on Wednesday and they'll look at the deal and may or may not approve the release of the bailout funds. The EU troika of IMF, EC, European Commission and ECB officials still has to determine that the measures will indeed be sufficient to meet the budget deficit reduction targets. And Greece itself has to come up with another 300 odd million worth of measures because the Germans have pointed out already that there wasn't quite enough cuts in there to ensure that the package is going to get through. So we certainly aren't out of the woods yet, but there has been a positive reaction today to the fact that at least Greece has managed to come to some agreement, even though it cost many MPs their seats because they crossed the floor effectively, even though there are riots going on right through Greece. So it's a very messy situation, but nevertheless a positive reaction at least today to what the Greek Parliament has achieved. And that's really the story of the day. Markets at the moment, well at the close, the London market was up 0.9%. The French market up 1/3%, and the German market up 0.68%. The Dow at lunchtime in the US is up 0.45%. That's at 12,858. In bond markets, we saw German bond yields rise a bit, Spanish and Italian bond yields fall a bit. So in other words, there's a sense that the peripheral bond market in Europe is a little bit more attractive today, because risk assets generally have become a little bit more attractive following the Greek news, and because it's Germany that's going to be mostly funding the bailout ultimately, and this is just the first of what will be many bailouts, more for Greece I think, and indeed for other parts of Europe. We saw bond yields there rise somewhat. In other markets, oil prices are up sharply. The oil price is up 1.5% today at $100.16 a barrel. That's again because of the renewed risk appetite that's crept back into markets today. Gold prices are down slightly, just down 0.1% at $1,723 an ounce, and copper prices are down about 0.75% today. Currency markets, we've got the Aussie up against the US dollar at 1.0737. And against the euro, the Aussie is currently buying 81.3 US cents, a little bit stronger against the euro as well today. Also today, Australia time, we've got one of the Assistant Governors of the Reserve Bank, I think it's Guy Debelle, speaking, the impact of Europe on the Australian economy. So that'll be a very interesting speech to watch for, and that's probably going to be the highlight of the Australian day. Okay, that's it for me. I'll be back at the same time tomorrow.